Yep. Fuck you, nigga.
As you can see and hear, I'm not surprised this guy is a racist, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to make the people aware in the Watertown, New York, Fort Drum, New York area about this troublemaker, nuisance that's causing problems in the area. Now, he started some problems that he couldn't finish. Therefore, he moved. So, he might be in your area. Now that you're hearing this, you could be 10 steps ahead of him and prepared for his shenanigans. So, this doesn't pertain to bullying. I'm just here to protect and prepare the people from this miserable, evil person that's seeking attention. Also, the things that I'm going to explain along with my experience are public information. Okay, now let me explain my experience living around this miserable, sick, I don't know if I can call him a person, this thing, because he don't have a soul. But I'm gonna try to shorten my story, but I would like to get more in depth so you guys can be prepared, just in case he does the same repetitive behavior. So I moved to a location in Watertown, New York. That day I did business with the landlord and I had to go pick up my belongings to move to my new location. So as I'm moving my stuff in, I think it was like the third round or whatnot, I get a knock at the door. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm just like, who is this? Because I wasn't expecting anyone. I'm new in the neighborhood. So I open the door. It's this guy, by the way. His name is Harold Whitney, aka Butch. He knocks on the door. Oh, hey, how are you? I'm your neighbor. I live upstairs from you. And I'm like, oh, okay, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. So instantly he's like, oh, I like your hair. It's long. How long you been growing it? So I responded to his question and he just kept on going on. And I'm just like in my head, get to the point already. You just being nosy. What is it? In my head, this is what I'm saying. So he's like, oh, is it fine if I can see your apartment? And I'm like, sure. Because he was like, oh, I want to just see how it looks because I've been hearing them working on their apartments. I just want to see what it looks like. So I'm just like, sure, I'm being cordial, right? So he's just looking around, and he's asking me questions. And he's like, oh, so this is where you're going to put your bed at? And I'm like, yes, yeah, I'm going to put my bed here. And he's just observing the place. Okay, so we go back outside. We have a long conversation. Remind you, I don't like to have long conversations with strangers, but he was just talking a storm, just revealing himself. So I was just like, why not listen? I just told him a couple things about myself, not too much. And he was just going off, and that's how I knew he doesn't really socialize like that. He don't have nobody to talk to because he was just venting. And I'm just like, yo, listen, this guy's gonna be my neighbor. So why not listen and see what he's really about? Because, that was my last round. I just had to go pick up a few more things. But there were a lot of red flags. A lot of red flags. So at this point, I already picked up on what type of person he is. Now, I'm trying to make him more comfortable so he can reveal more. So guess what? He mentioned he had a neighbor in the past that posted negative posts around town about him. I wonder why. I really wonder why. But one thing about me, I like to hear both sides of the story, and then from there I can judge. But knowing who this guy is now, he's the troublemaker. Oh, by the way, this is public information. Anybody could discover this information online. This will make sense to why he does the weirdo activities that he does. He's registered to the sex offender website. He's a rapist, pedophile, okay? And later on, I heard his conversation. He said he's bipolar. Then, the dude is 50 years old, half of 100 years old, play video games all day, 24/7, 7 days a week, and doesn't make no money off it. How I know is from our conversation. So I asked him, I said, so you're making a lot of money off this video games that you're talking about? He said, no, it's just a hobby. Okay? Like, doesn't have a wife or kids, not getting laid, no sex, no friends. He's stuck in that house. Why? Because he's a pedo, rapist. He's trying to hide from the public. Where else he's gonna go? Where else he's gonna go? Okay? Living off the government. He's basically a low life. So what do you think the outcome is going to be? He's gonna become a nuisance, right? He's stuck in that house. Eventually the games get boring. You're not making no money. So what else you gonna do? You're gonna start bothering people. And this is why you don't put these pedo rapist people near normal public people. You put them in a small house in the woods, okay, with their people, not with normal people. I don't understand, and I'm not trying to say Watertown condone these type of people, but it's just like there's kids around also. Like, why is this pedo around kids? Why is he around kids? Where I'm from in the city, they put you in a small house, separated from normal people. And the ones that's unregistered and try to sneak into the neighborhood, they end up leaving because they can't take the pressure that's applied from the neighborhood. And when you go to prison, forget about it. They're gonna destroy you for being a pedo, rapist, etc. And I don't want to hear, oh, he did his time. I do not care. If he has the chance to do it again, he's going to do it again. Okay, it's in his DNA. And they all have the same story. Oh, she lied about her age, this and that, etc. And if they have the chance to do it again, they always go back and do it again. Okay, so these people need to be separated from normal people. But that's another story. So now let's move forward to the antics he's doing / weirdo behaviors after he found out where I'm going to place my bed. So the following day, I get a knock on the door again. Guess who it is? It's Whitney, aka Butch. He knocks on the door. I open the door and I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, hey, I got you some Jamaican hot sauce. The thing is, like, during the conversation, I told him I was Jamaican. So he went to the supermarket and got me Jamaican hot sauce. At first, I was like, no. I kept on saying no. But he was so persistent, so I just took the hot sauce. But I never used it. At this point, I don't know anything about him being a pedo or rapist. I just know during that conversation, there was a lot of red flags, and I knew he wasn't right up there. It was just like weird. He had this weird thing about him, right? This weird vibe about him. So the thing about me is that I'm very independent. I go in and out and I mind my business. Where I'm from, people mind their business. And that doesn't mean to be green and not be aware of your surroundings. There's a big difference of being aware of your surroundings and being nosy. And by the way, I'm respectful to all my neighbors, but him, he's not the type I would try to hang out with. I'm trying to excel in life. So he noticed that I'm independent and I don't want to be bothered. Therefore, the following week, he starts his antics. Remind you, I'm on the first floor and he's on the second floor. His apartment is on top of mine. We're lined up the same way. The building is old and certain parts of the floors are squeaky, which is understandable. But when someone is stagnant in one place at 4 or 5 in the morning, where my bed is located, and pressing down on a floor where it's weak, making squeaky sounds consistently is not acceptable. Okay? If you're walking from A to B, I can hear it. That's normal. But at 4 or 5 in the morning, where my bed is located, and you're pressing down on the floor because you know that'll wake me up, you're a troublemaker. Okay? You're starting problems because you're seeking attention. So this is what this guy was doing. So you know what I did? I got up. I'm not calling no landlord or nothing like that. I'm going straight to your door. And by the way, it's 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm not calling no landlord at that time. I'm going directly to your door. So I knock on his door. He answers with the innocent aura, like, oh, what happened? Playing dumb, right? I'm like, listen, man, you're making noise on top of my head. Okay, you're stationed in one area and you're pressing down on the floor, making squeaky noises. What is that about? He's like, oh, I'm not doing no squeaky noises. I'm just walking from here to there and this and that. So I'm just like, listen, I'm not trying to go back and forth with this dude. So I got straight to the point and was very brief. I'm like, listen, I don't know what you're doing, but put a stop to it. Oh, I'm sorry. I won't do that again. And he kept on saying, don't tell the landlord. Don't tell the landlord. I'm like, listen, any problems I have, I'm coming directly to you. I'm not calling no landlord. He's like, oh, thank you. Even though he came to the door with that innocent aura, you could see it all in his face that he's guilty. And his body language was giving it all. I say a good solid 5 days, he was quiet. I didn't hear anything. Even him walking from A to B, I didn't hear no squeaky sounds or anything. And I found that weird because he was walking normal. It's not like he was walking like he's walking on eggshells. He was walking normal. So I'm like, him walking from A to B with them squeaky sounds is intentional as well. It has to be because after I spoke to him, it was like quiet. And remind you, the guy is 300 pounds, 300 pounds plus, I would say. You guys see him in a video. He's a big guy, right? And I even spoke to the landlord later on and him, and I'm like, I understand that he's 300 pounds, and when he walks from A to B, it's fine with the squeaky sounds. But when you're stagnant in one place, it's intentional. I know what you're doing. I'm not stupid. But come to find out later on, every time when someone speaks to him regarding the noise, he walks normal from A to B. And it's not like he's walking on eggshells. So he's basically doing all that intentionally. So it got worse. It got worse, but in a sneaky way. So it's like when you knock on his door or you see him in person, it's like he has this innocent role. But behind doors, he's a weirdo. He's doing these antics. It's just weird. But it gets worse where he starts doing weird stuff, like getting on the floor, putting his ears on the floor, trying to figure out where I move my bed to. Like weirdo stuff, okay? And doing small little knocks, like little small knocks. Living in the city, I never encountered any weirdo activities like this. This is weirdo behavior. So I spoke to him about the squeaky noise. Now he starts something different, little small knocks. So you know what I did. I knocked on his door again. Of course, he comes answering the door, real innocent. Oh, what happened? I'm like, listen, I don't want to hear no apologies. Do we have a problem? Do me and you have a problem? Oh, no, we don't have a problem. It's the kids next door that just moved in or whatever. They running back and forth. So now he's blaming kids that's on the other side of my apartment. They're not even lined up with my apartment. They're lined up with my bathroom, right? Their bathroom is lined up with my bathroom, okay? So I can't really hear them like that. So now he's blaming kids running from A to B, okay? We're not talking about that. We're talking about the knocks that you're doing. We're talking about the knocks. He's like, oh, I'm not doing nothing. This has the kids. And I said, listen, I'm not going to go back and forth with you. If you have a problem with me, we can handle it right now. There's a lot of space and opportunity. We could get it on right now. So he looked at me and ran upstairs. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to give the landlord a call regarding what happened. And the landlord said he'll give him a call and have a talk with him. Now, he was quiet. No knocks, no squeaky noise, no nothing. But less than 5 days, he does the same repetitive stuff. with the small little knocks. So now he's not even respecting the landlord word. So I go back over there. I go knock on his door again. And he's like, what happened? I didn't do anything. Instantly, I'm like, dude, what's up with you? So he grabs a shovel, like a little shovel, and runs outside, thinking I was gonna run. I didn't run. I stood right there. I said, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Looked at him right in his soul. What are you going to do? Right? You know you can't do shit to me. You know I will put the beats on you. You and I know I will put the beats on you. What are you gonna do? So he has the shovel in his hand, and what he did was like he brushed his shoulder towards like my chest, and I just pushed him, right? And I even push him hard. He's 300 plus pounds, right? I'm slim, athletic built. I did not even use that much strength. This guy stumbles, run upstairs, being very dramatic. So I go into my apartment. Something is telling me like this guy is gonna call 911, cause I see his motive. His motive is I touch him, he call the cops, play victim, then press charges on me, then I'll have to go. See what I'm saying? Then a new person is gonna move in, and maybe that new person can give him that attention. So I already know what he was doing. I'm playing chess. I don't play checkers. So I understand clearly what he's trying to do. Exactly what I said happened. He called the cops and said that I punched him. I punched him. But luckily, when I was getting this apartment, I said, I need a camera. I need a camera around my apartment. So when that day, that stuff happened between me and him, I was telling him, come towards the camera. He don't know why I was telling him, come towards like the area where the camera is at, just in case he lied. Play innocent. No, that's the big difference between me and you. Like I said, I don't need to physically touch him. Two can play this game. Let's play this game. You start, I finish. So I started noticing his schedule, his pattern. He go to sleep around 10 o'clock. I'm not gonna do it exactly around 10 o'clock. I'm gonna do it while he's in the middle of his sleep. So when you doing your little knock knocks and your little antics, I'm gonna do it louder. I'm gonna make you wish you coulda, woulda, shoulda never played with me. I'm gonna make you feel that. And one thing about me, like I said, you start with me, I'm gonna finish. And once you throw the red flag, like you wanna give up, I'm persistent. I'm gonna keep going. And when I say keep going, because I have to be careful with my words, people will start making assumptions. I meant by being louder than him. You know, he started the little antics, the little knocks, but I'm gonna be louder, okay, and persistent until he leaves out the apartment. So it's nothing physical. So that's exactly what I did every single night. And you can tell it was bothering him. You could tell it was bothering him. I should have did this from the beginning when he started with me, but I didn't want to stoop down to his level. But I had to stoop down to his level in order to get him out of his apartment, in order for him to move out. And it actually worked. You can tell it was bothering him because you could hear him like, oh boy, this guy does not stop. This guy does not stop. I know you guys at this point is like, where is the landlord? I know, but the landlord did not want to get involved, right? He said, I don't want to get involved. Call the police. And when police was called on me, the police asked me, he said, where is your landlord? My landlord said to call you. And then now the police are telling me I got to get in contact with the landlord. So it's like, it puts me in a confusing place. It's like, who should I call? Who should I speak to? I've never experienced this before, but I'm sure a landlord has to get involved. This is your property, your business. This could have went left. Luckily, it didn't go that far, okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. I feel like if he would have got involved, this would have put a stop to it, because this guy kept on saying, don't call the landlord. Don't call the landlord. He had some type of fear towards the landlord, but he noticed that the landlord was careless, so he proceeded. I guess this is how it is in Watertown, right? I guess. Now, this Harold guy can't take the heat in the kitchen, so he's looking for a partner, and he chose his neighbors that he blamed their kids. Remember that? Stating that the kids was the ones that was making the noise? Yes, he's trying to partner up with them now to throw dirt on my name. So it's an interracial couple. It's a black guy and a white girl. And they fell for it. Why? Because they're very, very poor. And he gave them an AC during the summer because they couldn't afford it. But I'm not going to go deep into that. Just know that they try to team up on me. And I destroyed 2 birds with 1 stone. And that's all I'm going to say. I destroyed 2 birds with 1 stone. And they both moved out, okay? So they were both trying to make noise back and forth with me. And I just kept on going. Like I said, I'm very persistent. And eventually, one by one, they left. That simple. And the black dude, which is Harold's neighbor, the one that Harold blamed their kids, I stepped to him a couple of times. I'm like, what's all this noise about? Oh, it's not me. He's pointing fingers at Harold. Harold pointing fingers at their kids. It's like little punk activities going on, little punk antics. See, where I'm from, I'm not used to that. You understand? Where I'm from, people don't do stuff like that. You know, we respect each other. You know, real recognize real. But out here, it's like little punks doing little antics and stuff like that, little sneaky antics. And when you step to them, it's like, oh, I'm not doing nothing. I just don't get it, right? But at the end of the day, it's done. This guy was very, very poor. And Harold knows that they ain't have much. So he gave him an air conditioner to crash out. So he gave him an air conditioner, and now they wanted to crash out on somebody that they don't even know. You know, you have kids, and you start with somebody you don't know. So basically, Harold was playing chess with this fool, and this fool fell for it. He doesn't even like your kind, and you crashed out by making noise. You ain't do nothing to me. You was just making noise, right? And stating it wasn't you, it was him, right? So you was doing all of that. You waste all your energy on someone that's a racist, that doesn't even like your kind. So what that makes you, I don't even have to say much. What's understood doesn't need to be explained. Come to find out later on, they were both beefing with each other. They had some serious issues. I don't know what happened, but something happened. Hey, you know, karma got in between both of them and got them both the hell out of there. So it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. But I know, dude, you feel like a fool. So that was my experience and harassment I went through. I just wanted you guys to be aware so you guys could be 10 steps ahead in case that happens to you. And another thing is, when I first moved there, I had the energy as of like, okay, I don't want no problems with nobody, which I don't. It's not like I'm a punk or a lame. It's just that I'm a black individual. You know, anything occurs, they're going to point the finger at me. So I was just basically trying to tell him, listen, I don't want no problems. And he saw the camera. So he's like, oh, this guy's a lame. I'm going to test him. He looks tough, but looks could be deceiving. Let me try him. And that's what made him like even tried me. But I didn't give him off my real authentic energy as far as like, listen, I don't play around. I have that standoff defensive energy, but I wasn't trying to give that off because I'm moving to a new neighborhood with, you know, different kind of people. So I was trying to be cordial, but that's what made him like, and I was trying to be kind. So, you know, people take your kindness for weakness. And he felt. Now look at his friend. His cousin or whatever it is, his family. Like, would you trust this guy around your kids, like your daughter, even your son? Like, I wouldn't even trust anybody that looks like that. Now, look at that look. And I'm not even trying to, like, you know, bully anyone or make fun of anybody, but the real is the real, man. The truth is the truth. I would not nearly have someone that looks like that near my kids. You know what they say, man, the company that you keep around, man, says a lot about yourself.